talking about the music right here today, hanging out with one of gospel's rising stars, Keith, the Wonderboy Johnson.
What's up, Big D?
Hey, man, I'm holding on. What about you?
Oh, man, I'm grateful.
Well, look, man, you got the whole New York hip hop gospel thing going or whatever. So, what's up with that?
This is where I'm from, man.
That's
I
where you
represent.
from.
I'm from NY.
You know what? And that's what I like about you, man. You always keep it real.
Oh, no doubt.
Well, look, just share with our viewers, man, and our fans a little bit. Just kind of give them a little history of Keith Johnson. I see you do a lot of interviews and stuff, but nobody ever seemed to ask you about where you started from or where your roots into this music game really come from. So just share with the people, the viewers, a little bit about Keith Wonderboy Johnson and the spiritual voices.
Well, my dad started me to sing, and I started singing when I was like 5 years old. That's how the nickname, the Wonderboy, came up. It's actually the little Wonderboy they used to call me. I started from a generation. I'm real close friends with, like, childhood friends with Casey and JoJo, Chauncey from Blackstreet, Dave Hollister.
They were all in gospel.
Yeah, every one of them in that metropolitan New York area was in a group. And basically each one of them was the lead singer, and they used to all be called Little, like KC. His real name is Cedric. He'd be called Little Cedric, and you had, like, Jaheim, they was calling him Little J and all like that. So my dad wanted me to be different. He was friends with Johnny Martin from the Mighty Clouds of Joy. So they gave me a nickname, the Little Wonderboy. So when I came back, I took a little break from singing as a teenager. So when I came back, they said, let's, let the people remember that when you was little. So that's how Keith Wonderboy Johnson came in. So, I'm from New York. I'm a hip-hop boy.
Right.
But I grew up on quartets.
Well, see, that's the whole misconception, because I remember back in the day, they used to have some of the biggest gospel programs, quartet programs in New York.
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Big Dan.
That's right.
And he would have Mighty Clouds, Swanee Quintet,
Right.
Blind Boys, who else?
Yeah, they don't throw shows like that right now. They have maybe about 4 or 5 of us on one show, the most. Big Dan used to have shows with, like, literally 12 major,
11, 12 guys,
and all major acts.
Right.
So, I grew up watching all that. That's why I say I knew a lot of people from going to the concerts when I was little. So, I watched that, and then once I became, a young man myself, I noticed, I was getting into hip hop and R&B and different things. Then I came to a concert, and with Willie Neal Johnson and the Mighty Clouds of Joy, and I noticed, like, man, there's no young people over here.
Right.
And with quartet being really in my heart, I chose quartet music over R&B and rap.
Right.
And I said, I'm gonna be the one. Then the Lord told me, hey, you'll be the one to bring the young generation to quartet music.
And you have kind of done that because you have a following now. Since you have had your first hit back in the late '90s, "High Behind the Mountain," I believe it was your first big hit.
Right.
There have been a string of young gospel quartet groups that have developed from that, from you doing your thing, And back in the day when we was you were either in that certain elite group from here on up to the clouds or whatever. There were no young quartet groups back then, when we started. So, when you did your big hit, I started seeing everybody, man, we got to put a group together, man. We got to get a group.
I mean, it's mind-boggling because, through this last 14 years that we've been traveling, I've come across, athletes, besides my, other singers that I looked up to, athletes, actors, all kind of people, and they be like, we know your music, man. Keep one, and then it's like, wow, I'm touching people doing exactly what I wanted to do. I just wanted to take, I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody. I just wanted to take quartet music to another level. Just like this theater here that we in tonight, it's kind of, more.
Well, this is the first.
Yeah.
I could tell you.
And it brings back a lot of, it brings back a lot of memories for me as well, because this was the first night I started. I did a national tour. I was in a play with Al Wash.
Right.
And the first city we did was here in Memphis in his theater. And during that time, they was like, no quartet group, no quartet singer ever been in a play or whatever. So I had like a leading role and everything. So I just wanted, my goal then was just to show them, we sing quartet music, but we can do everything everybody else can do.
Right, no doubt. Well, look, man, you have obviously had a lot of success. Now you've been traveling nationally for 14 years, going into your 15th year, but you actually sang for about 20 years
32.
or so? 32 years, yeah. So, but basically with the same group, because your father had those spiritual voices, right?
Yeah.
Before. Now you speak of the Mighty Clouds, just to kind of go back, because back in the day, man, they were like the Mighty Clouds were like the Rolling Stones of gospel. Yeah. So now, how was it being close with Johnny Martin? I know a lot of people may not know of Johnny that's not into the business, but Johnny Martin was the man. You know? So just being close to him and kind of like a godfather to you or whatever. How was that?
I mean, it was definitely a blessing, and it was educational, because he showed me, a lot of people look at gospel, especially black gospel, and look at it as quote unquote chitlin circuit or whatsoever. He showed me from a business aspect that if you have your business together and your marketing and everything, you can take it. You see, they were one of the first black artists to go on Soul Train, and they were going to the masses. They went anywhere, and that's how I am right now. I strive myself being just like them. It's like wherever they invite me, I'm going. Last week, we just did the corporate party in L.A. for the House of Blues. And, we didn't change our show. We sung gospel. Right. So, I'm just, wherever they give me the opportunity, I'm going.
Right. Now, you've gotten into, you spoke briefly about you doing the play circuit. You've done 3 or 4 plays that I know of. But now you have also gotten into writing and producing other gospel groups, the younger gospel groups. Right. So your last project, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it was always a dream of mine to work with Malaco Records, which is, historical for gospel and blues. Right. So a friend of mine who's the A&R there now, I just wanted to do something to give back. So I created a CD called The Rising Stars, a quartet, where I chose like 4 different upcoming groups, and I put the CD out. Then, I'm just always trying something new. And also, the new thing I also do, I dabble a little bit with what you're doing a little hosting and everything. Okay, cool. I did a couple of TV shows and everything. Just, I don't know if I want to be the next Bobby Jones or nothing, but you never know where it might happen.
Well, maybe you can have me and Marcus on your show.
That'll work. That'll work. I interview you.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, look, man, just real quick, because I know you got to get back to business here tonight. What's in the future for Keith Wonderboy Johnson?
Well, I'm living my dream. I always dreamed this as a little boy, to be able to travel and just meet people and spread the good news. So I'm going to continue doing my best to make good gospel music, make things different, and set a new page for quartet gospel music. That's my whole goal.
Now, you when you work with people like Ty Tribbett, and because you're one of the few groups that actually get a chance to cross over into that other market of gospel. When you work with Ty Tribbett and Smokey Norfolk, people like that, do you kind of change up your show, or
no,
you still do your thing?
Right. I actually found out that's what they bringing me there for. I made that mistake maybe once, and then Dr. Bobby Cartwright, who produces the Gospel Fest. He had Vivica Fox, Clifton, all them hosting and everything. And he brought me there, and he sat me to the side after sound check, because I did a song. He's like, no, if I want contemporary, that's what I got Kurt Franklin here for. I want you to do you. I want that good quartet. He said, because you do it is modernized to today's time, and you bring the young people. He said, I want you to do you. So since then, that was years ago. When I go there, I'm a quartet man.
Drive them in the
I'm hitting a drive for sure.
Well, look, Keith, thanks, man, for stopping by.
Man, Doc, it was my pleasure to be here with you, my boy.
No doubt. Well, hey, we're talking about the music here today with Keith, the Wonderboy Johnson, of Keith Wonderboy Johnson and Spiritual Voices. Y'all keep hanging out with us.